and I've talked about this in past videos. That's my printer. Why it's...
Every change has a reason. Baby, let it come to you.
Hey guys, it is so wonderful to see you today. I hope you're having a wonderful day. So today I would really like to talk about how to pick books for your child or your children. What kind of books do you want your child to read? Have you thought about that? Do you want books that are on their level? Do you want good books that you don't have to worry about what they're reading? So recently in a previous video, I talked about how I had accidentally let my son read a book that I do not believe it's okay for him to read. Life happens, and I think that I have learned from that. Probably won't be the last time, but I thought about it, and I was reading one of the comments from one of my viewers that I hear from all the time, and you know, she had said, oh, I've done that with, TV shows. And I thought about that. So in the past, what have you let your child watch on TV? If you let your child watch TV, just because it's a cartoon and it's made for kids doesn't mean that it's technically going to be good for them. You put garbage in and you're going to get garbage out, is the old saying. And what they're viewing affects their heart. And I started to notice, this was years ago when he was 4, his behavior was very different. And he was more mean and sarcastic and not very nice. And I was like, what in the world is causing you to act like this because you know better? And I sat down and I watched some of it, and I realized in that show, the characters were just mean to each other. There was no plot, there was nothing going on, they were just mean to each other. So he was learning to be mean. That's what he was seeing. He was being mentored on how to be mean by the TV. So I very carefully have guarded what he watches on TV, and he doesn't get a lot. Reading the comments from that video, I started thinking, I was like, it'd be really great if there was a website that, you could look up a book and it would tell you the things that are in it. And then I realized The Good and the Beautiful has book lists. It's not going to have every single book on the planet, but they have lists. They have actually read through a lot, and it will tell you what's in it, what they don't think is okay. There's a list of what they consider good and beautiful books. And it's not just their own books. They've reviewed many other books. And then they have a list of books that they do not deem good and the beautiful. Now, the book in question is not actually on the list, which probably would have been helpful. But so I started thinking about that, and I downloaded it again because I have in the past, but I guess I honestly just forgot about it. So if you go to the Good and the Beautiful's website and you go to their library and click on book lists, you just put in your email address to be put on the, the emails that they send out. And if you're already on their email list, it's not just going to send you more. But then you're able to download these lists. I actually printed out my lists because I have this amazing printer now because I don't enjoy scrolling on the computer. I'm old school. So they have a list, and this one is current. It says it was updated May of 2021, and it has it by levels. Now, according to this, it says they want books that avoid potty language, taking God's name in vain, avoids an underlying feeling of negativity or darkness, avoids violence for entertainment or shock value. It doesn't weaken family, faith, or Christ-like behavior. It portrays strong families, motherhood, promotes respect and appreciation for teachers and peers, siblings, family, things like that. Portrays learning and education as desirable and noble, because even in public school, children don't feel like, education is important. I think our society is starting to go down this road of, you know, oh, if you're smart, that's not cool. And it doesn't portray bad behavior, weak character. There's much more, and you can read this yourself. I don't want to bore you too much. But they have a list of what they consider good and beautiful books. So I'll give you just a quick example. This is just the back of it. This is level 9. So it'll give you a picture of the book, the name of it. It'll tell you if it's fiction or nonfiction. The authors, they give it a moral merit number. They give it a literary merit for level and an education value. And then they give you a synopsis of what's in it and what they believe is good. Now, some things you may agree with, you may not, but what I liked is it gave me a place to start. Honestly, this list, this is only half of it. It's about this thick when I print it out, and you can actually search on the list on your computer and things like that, but it is pretty thorough. And there are books on here that I was like, oh, I forgot about that one. Oh, that one will be great. So like if you're looking for book ideas, the list, the Good and the Beautiful's book list, actually would give you really good ideas, plus a place to start. And if you want to read it yourself afterwards, after you've read to see, you know, what they have to say about it, you know, then, you know, you can double check for yourself. But this, I can't believe I forgot about this. This is a very good resource that could make your life a lot easier, because not every single book is going to have a review online associated with the way that you might think and believe. So when I Googled about the book that I didn't think my son should read, I had to dig really hard. So this will give you a good place to start. And then they also have a huge list of books that didn't make the list, is what it's called. And in this, there's different types, but it will give you the same thing, the picture of the book, the author, and it will tell you what's in it, what they considered bad, and things like that. And actually, when you go through this, there are books that they'll say strongly not recommend in red, and it will tell you certain things, but it gives you bulleted things or a paragraph, and that way you can decide for yourself. And you know, if you're not quite sure, well, then get the book yourself and read it, or download it on a Kindle and read it, or listen to it on an audiobook if you're like me and you don't have time to read a ton, especially if you're like doing research for your kid. So this is a wonderful resource to be able to help you, because let's be real, like, we're homeschooling mothers, we're managing our home, a lot of you have many children, many of you have babies. There's not enough time in the day to do everything. So these are great resources for a list that they consider good and a list they consider bad, and at least you can reference it. And if you use the Good and the Beautiful curriculum, you already trust them, you already enjoy what they do, and this just might be easier for you. I've also been asked by other subscribers, how do you know what level a book is on? And I'm sure there's many different ways to do it, but the way that I know, I have shared with that person. So I thought, oh, this will be great. Let me add this to the video. So when I was a teacher, we used the Accelerated Reader Program, and I've talked about this in past videos. I personally didn't like the Accelerated Reader Program when I was a teacher because I felt it killed the love of reading, especially when in elementary school they're just blossoming and they like the idea of it, and then you make it this thing that they have to do all the time and they're just not into it anymore. But it actually does provide a good resource for the book level for your child. If you type in the book title, it will pull up pictures of all the books. I printed this out so you could see it because I didn't want to have to hold it in my computer. But it will give you a huge list and you just have to pick. It has a bunch of things on here that you don't need, but what you want is, it says BL, which is book level. And the book that my son is reading is a Hardy Boys book, the #1 Hardy Boys book. and it's called The Tower of Treasure. Well, I kind of roughly knew from looking at it what the level was, but I actually wanted to know what they believe that it was. And so this book is considered 5.4, and what that means is grade 5, 4th month. So that would be like you're in the 5th grade and the 4th month of 5th grade if you were in public school and thinking about like the actual normal school year in public school. So that's basically early 5th grade. Well, he's finishing up 2nd grade and he's enjoying it. And I was telling him, oh, your book is, you know, a 5th grade level. And he was just like, oh my goodness, are you serious? And so we started looking up some of the other books and I was like, oh, this one is like a 4.5, which is 4th grade, 5th month. And he was like, really, this is amazing. Like he didn't realize how high he was reading. And I just let him read, of course, the good books that I pick out, but I let him read what he's comfortable reading. I mean, there's going to be things that are just so above his level that he's just not comfortable. I'm fine with him reading things that are below as long as he's enjoying. So this should give you a really good place to start. So I will link the URL for the book list so you could get this if you wanted, and I will link arbookfind.com below to help you out. Overall, I hope this helps you to be able to pick books for your kids. I would love to hear what you have to say in the comments below. What do you use? How do you decide on picking, you know, your child's book? How do you know what reading level it is? I would love for you to add that below because it adds to the conversation. It gives everybody more knowledge that they may not have. I love sharing the knowledge that I have that others may not, because we need all these resources. We need life to be easier for us as homeschool moms. So I hope that this helped you. If you like this video, please hit the like button because that really does help. And if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. I would love for you to know when I upload a new video, especially if you enjoy the content. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.